Yes.
It's a beautiful day here in sunny Dublin. Hey there, slow down. Where are you going?
I'm going to the beach.
Oh, yeah? Are you on your own?
No, with few friends.
Yeah. What are your
We're
friends?
roller skating.
Roller skating. What are your friends' names?
Amanda, Patricia, and Jack. We all LGBTQRS community.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry about that. Do you know what I have in my hands, Hannah? Look at that. Can anybody see that?
What is it?
So when I was very young, I got punched in the front of my mouth and my tooth loosened and then it became grey and eventually fell out when I was about 19, 20 or around that time. And then I had to get a replacement tooth. And then it's called a Marlin bridge. And so that stuck on the back of that tooth and then stuck on the back of that tooth, right?
Is it called Marlin Bridge?
Marlin Bridge.
Why is it Marlin? It's a very mysterious name.
Because I guess the guy who invented it was called A.J. Marlin, Dr. A.J. Marlin from Minnesota. How you doing? He invented it, and he made a lot of money, settled down, and retired recently. And he has 5 grandchildren called Fedor, Mercury, and Alopecia. Now, okay, so listen, here's the thing, right? Oh yeah, and then the problem is it would become loose. And I remember when I was in Tokyo when I was 24 and it kept on getting loose. And I'd go to various dentists in Tokyo and they'd sort of go, hey, and then they'd just sort of, stick it in with a bit of fucking porridge or something. And they kept on falling out. But it was so annoying my whole life, that this thing has been falling out of my fucking mouth. And but then I went to...
I think we went in Würzburg.
We went to Würzburg. We were traveling around while you were pregnant with that guy. 31 years ago.
I don't remember.
Okay, 31 years. And then I went to some German dental hospital and they had the absolute latest bonding technique. And so it stuck in my mouth for years and years after that. But anyway, that has been in my mouth. That has been with me through all the girlfriends I've had. So I've had sex with women while this is in my mouth. So what I'm saying is this is a great memento. So if there's any Instafuckers who want this tooth, should I raffle it off?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, no, like bidding.
Bidding?
Yes, and it's gonna be framed.
Oh yeah, I should frame this.
Yeah, it's gonna be framed. It's like
no, maybe
when you die, this is gonna stay.
Maybe we should have a kind of like a quiz or some kind of competition, and then whoever answers a question.
Yeah, and it could be like a relic for future generations.
Yeah, this is a relic. Yeah, you have like Napoleon's penis in a pickle jar.
Do you?
No, I mean it is apparently Napoleon's genitals were pickled for posterity. I don't know what I'm talking about, but apparently that is true. Where did Napoleon die? Mount Saint Helena's. Saint.
Oh, in Corsica.
Was it? Do you remember? Okay, Napoleon.
Well, just check.
It's funny that a syndrome was named after him. People have Napoleonic complexes. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, so they think about themselves as really important.
No, it's because he was small of stature. So a lot of small men don't think they're being taken seriously. So they're walking around with very angry, constantly trying to establish their masculine, prove themselves.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll just adjust your camera real quickly down.
Oh yeah, why? What's happening?
It's just a little low, I think.
What are you looking at, Hannah?
Oh, so the official cause was recorded as stomach cancer.
Okay, now Hannah, you have to set it up and tell people what you're talking about.
We were talking about Napoleon.
That's how you kind of have to talk when you're broadcasting.
Napoleon Bonaparte died on May the 5th, 1821, and he had a stomach cancer.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know, because I'm broadcasting and I'm trying to get a broadcasting voice.
Okay.
Soothing.
Yeah. So he died May the 5th.
Yes.
Okay. But he was quite a great genius military leader. Okay, let's not talk about Bonaparte, Hannah. Mm-hmm. So we're giving away we're gonna mount this in a thing, and this is the tooth of David McSavage.
Like a relic for generations.
Yeah, and people who
It's
worship
gonna
me can
survive.
can
Yes.
have this, and they can. It's
They
like
can pray to you.
pray to me.
Send wishes.
Sandwiches,
Send wishes.
Selfridges.
And send
Okay, Hannah.
desires.
Do
And
you know?
you
Yeah. So. Yes. Oh, yeah. And I finally got. These are my actual teeth now. That I just went to the dentist, and they took out the temporary bridge, and so individual veneers were put. Like, if you take off my veneers, I'd look like Shane McGowan. So they're just like put on underneath. But I'm so happy with them. They look great, Hannah.
Yeah, it makes you really, really very attractive and handsome.
Really?
Yes.
What's been happening in the? Oh yeah. And by the way, I know you were saying like, oh, we should have a guest and so on. I kind of just like not having guests. I mean, it's just such a fucking hassle. I mean, I do see people popping up on my Instagram, and I think, God, I'd love to have them as a guest. But I guess it's just like there's a kind of slight underlying fear of like rejection, and then like I've asked a few people on, and they've said no, and then I just
Like
think,
who?
Oh, I don't know, I can't remember. But I mean, I just well, I don't want to say actually.
Why not? Just say no. I mean, is that offensive?
So anyway, and it just makes you kind of lose confidence, and then you just think, oh, fuck off. I mean, I just like doing this with Hannah and Daniel. What?
I just have it like completely random.
What? Hannah, explain yourself.
It's just having it completely random.
What is?
The podcast without guests.
Yeah.
And
what's completely random, Hannah?
the whole podcast.
I look very unreasonable when I get in any way for us. I love Hannah, obviously, but I know, like, objectively, I seem unreasonable when I get a bit frustrated with Hannah. But honestly, if you were sitting here, you'd be getting frustrated too. I love you, Hannah. What was your point?
That without guests, our podcast might get a bit boring.
Well, fuck that. So what? Like, welcome to the boring.
Oh, yeah. So the boredom is the new height. If you embrace boredom and find the entertainment in it.
Oh, I heard a golfer talking about trying to train himself for golf and teaching himself patience. So he would drive around in traffic and just find people who were driving really slow, and just kind of to build patience, and which is a good thing in certain situations, so you don't lose your temper or whatever.
Oh, concentration. Yeah, I would. But also about boredom, I heard the kids nowadays are prevent to be bored, but apparently from boredom coming all the best ideas and inventions.
Yes, I like that idea. That's true. Yes.
And
yes. For instance, I was talking to a friend of my neighbour, Danielle, and she was saying, she went up the Wicklow Mountains. She went up the TikTok Mountains. She meant Tignock, and I just thought, for some reason, the TikTok Mountains sound like, oh yeah, the TikTok Mountains, like the social media valley of Ireland, the social media valleys of Ireland, or like the attention deficit disorder rivers of Connemara. The attention, the ADHD river of Connemara. It's very short attention span. It's very. It's
the Instagram loaf.
The Instagram loaf. Thanks, Daniel, for saving me there. The Instagram loaf. The Facebook mountains. The social media. The social media. The social media wild Atlantic
porridge.
way. Okay, I don't know. We there's something in there. I just don't feel free enough and jazzy enough.
But it's self-imposed, I think.
Oh, very good, Hannah. Checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
happy now?
I'm happy now. And there's another thing, like it's popping up. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right?
Well, that's a real old
Yeah.
Dr. Phil thing.
It's not even. It's Deepak Chopra was saying this.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
I do like that idea because it's written into the Constitution of the United States of America. The right to bear arms and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, if you're pursuing happiness, and one person's happiness is another person's boredom and misery. I think the best thing is just occupy yourself, set yourself little goals. Doesn't matter what, any fucking thing. I'm going to clean the house, going to clean the underpants, I'm going to go down to the shop, I'm going to whatever it is. And then, happiness might just happen accidentally or occasionally. But the idea of pursuing it, you're setting yourself up to fail, I think.
Okay, I've got a question.
Like, I mean, if
to
you're
Daniel and to
sorry,
yourself.
happiness is a side effect of taking action and doing other things. I'm getting angry now talking about happiness because I'm not really sure about what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I'm not fully
Daniel,
sure, but I think I'm on the right track, Daniel.
What's the definition of happiness for you? And then I want to hear you.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, there's lots of different types of
Okay,
happiness.
but it's just pick one.
Yeah, Daniel.
I think like contentment.
And what's contentment then?
Well, just like
Getting stoned.
well, no.
David,
I think
that's really mean. And why are you interrupting person who is actually pouring their heart out?
yeah, just like having what you need when you need it. Just like freedom, I guess, to do what you want. And I don't know, I guess just being able to choose what you want to do, like, I guess, and just be free with it. Yeah,
That's good. And what about you?
Huh?
What about you? What's happiness?
Yeah, but I mean, but you know what? Freedom to do what you want to do. But there's loads of things that I want to do, but I can't. So therefore, that definition of happiness would mean I'm unhappy.
Apply to
Like,
you.
would I be living in Ireland if I had a choice? Like, I'm not based here; I'm stuck here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's from stand up, by the way. But like I don't have the freedom to live where I want to live.
Actually, if you really wanted to live somewhere else, you would.
Would I? Yeah, I guess so. Would I?
Because,
Like, I'd like to have I'd like to have a beach house somewhere.
yeah, remember we went to Thailand, and the whole thing you were saying that you wanna have a place on the beach and sit in the sand
that's true.
and read a book.
Yes.
And you've done
Bored shitless.
nothing.
No.
From, your vision was completely different than reality.
Well, do you know what it is, Hannah? I think maybe it was taking me a while to process and decompress and sort of recalibrate my kind of way of being. So we were only there for 2 weeks. But yeah, I had this idea: beach, sea, salad, book. And I was fucking so bored with it. I tried, couldn't do it. So my favorite thing actually was renting those little motorbikes and whizzing around and just looking at stuff. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, so they always say grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So whatever you don't have right now, you sort of want it.
It's so funny
It's
though.
almost like lusting for it, not even wanting. It's like with love, with desire a woman or a man, you're lusting it. But, you're just lusting for a short time.
Well,
because it never lasts. And, can I tell you the definition I've read? It's not mine, but I think it's really clever. The definition of happiness is present life without expectations.
Oh, that's very fucking good, Hannah. Yeah.
It's
Do you
isn't
mean?
it?
Do you mean just?
It's like your life.
Just without any kind
present
of
state, yeah.
Without kind of this sort of desirable outcome, because it takes you out of the present, so you're not enjoying
Yes.
the nowness of it. Oh yeah, that's
It's
so
exactly that. If you're living here and you're thinking, oh, I would be so happy on the beach in Marbella or whatever, in Spain or Thailand.
Well, yes. Well, that thing of
But would you?
well, that thing of they have that phrase in Ireland. Oh, you're one over there, or your man over there. He has a terrible want on him. Mm-hmm. And I think I've had this yearning. I often describe it like as this sort of invisible arm coming out of my torso, kind of just grabbing at things. And then, then when you get the thing that you think you want, it's not as valuable as you thought it was going to be, because it's you achieving it, and then maybe you've got a little sort of bit of self-hatred. So you know, if I can get it, it mustn't be of value. So you kind of have to. I don't know. It's a very kind of confused Catholic way of approaching life, man.
Yeah.
But I would say that thing of when we were traveling around Thailand on the little motorbikes, I like kind of going up this street, up that street, and sort of just looking at, you know, these locations that have been there for decades and decades, and just seeing, like, you know, to us it's kind of unusual, but to the people living there, it's the equivalent of us. Like, they'd come over here and they'd be all a bit culture shocky, you know. Mm-hmm. But to them it's totally normal. But it's nice just looking at places and just
There was a guy I knew that he organized himself a little village in Thailand. He's like this older guy.
Oh yeah.
And so he kind of
he
kind of funds it.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he goes over there, he gets whatever he wants. Like, you know, like, and
but he's a rich dude.
And
is it a kind of sex tourist thing?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's quite grim, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Quite sad.
It is sad, like, that you don't have the social skills or the personality or whatever is required to actually get to know someone, and for them to get to know you, and for there to be a vibe and a bit of chemistry, but you can't figure that out. Yeah. So you just got money, go to a place where things are very cheap, and you just sort of buy your way, huh?
Yeah, but I think in the case of that guy, he might want, like, he's probably old and rich, and he wants all the young underage boys. I'm afraid that's the situation. So you know.
But yes, the grass is always greener and that kind of thing. But I like having that want. I think actually it's a feature of being a really good. It's a feature of being creative or being an artist, that you have this desire to create something, to do something. Like in my head, for instance, let's say Patrick Kavanagh, alcoholic. Now this is completely anecdotal. It's just a thing that I would feel from Patrick Kavanagh. Did he write this great, beautiful piece of work? On Raglan Road, on a morning, her dog. You know, beautiful. You know, just this kind of reaching out, this yearning, this wanting of this beautiful vision that he felt unworthy to be with. But he projected this almost like she was royalty or she was an angel from heaven, and. But it was in my head. He just felt so ugly in her presence. But he wrote this beautiful piece of literature, about this person. Like, so in other words, whoever that woman was, whoever her boyfriend was at the time, he wasn't writing anything.
So you're talking about a poem or a book, or?
No, but I'm just saying that. That thing that you're talking about, the want or the desire for something, does inspire or motivate you to write stuff?
Yeah, unattained objects.
Yeah, unattained people or unattained.
Yeah, and the journey, you know.
But then when you get, like, if Patrick Kavanagh actually got that girl.
Yeah, he wouldn't appreciate it.
But what is amazing about Patrick Kavanagh, you know, just like this husk of an old, you know, grumpy sort of, you know, collapsed kind of dude, but he has this beautiful, beautiful mind.
So yeah, and I don't know Patrick Kavanagh that much. What did he write?
He wrote Raglan Road.
Oh, right. I haven't read it.
Oh, and I only found out the other day that I used to live, when I was a kid, when I was about 21 or 22, I used to live in a bedsit in Baggot Street in 62 Lower Baggot. Baggot Street? No. Baggot Street, sorry. But when I was 21, I lived in Baggot Street, but also Patrick Kavanagh lived there, and I only found that out the other day. Thanks for sharing, David.
Was there a plaque on that?
Yes.
Yeah, and how come you lived there? Did you rent the...
Yeah, I was renting a bedsit. I think it was like 100 quid a week or something, or less than 50 quid a week or something. And and I was working in a recording studio.
Mm-hmm.
This was in 1985, 1986. And I had a motorbike, and I got some insurance money from the crash. I had a crash on my motorbike.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Yamaha 80. And some car crashed into me.
Did you drive fast?
No, but anyway, the point is I got insurance money, but I bought this car called a Citroën Mahari, which is like a plastic French car based on the engine of a 2 chevaux, 2 horsepower. Remember the 2 chevaux? You remember the Citroën? Anyway, so
French car.
Yeah, so I was driving around in that thing.
Is it open roof or?
Yeah, like it was such a waste of money. I didn't save it. Like I should have, I hadn't got a fucking clue. But that's. But I think
did you want to impress the girls, the friends?
No, I was so clueless and so. I was such a virgin or something. I was so sexually unenlightened or sexually afraid or afraid. I just didn't have a clue. I was so awkward and quirky and embarrassed and shy around women. But the way they say youth is wasted on the youth, it's really not. That's the whole thing about being young, is kind of not. Well, one of the good things about being young is not giving a fuck and being carefree and just going for it. Although there are some young people who are already 50, they just can't wait to be 55. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
They just cannot fucking wait to be 55. They're just hanging in there, and finally at 55,
Although I think that it's good to be financially smart from the very young age, and I think if school has some sort of purpose, so I think they should get rid of a lot of stuff they're teaching and give kids financial education.
Well,
that should be obligatory.
and obligatorio, but also come up with a creative way to show the benefits of investing, buying little shares, even 5 quid, a good practice, and showing.
Well, that's not even that's systematic saving.
Yeah.
That's like long-term vision.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, you can't just say like, how do you shift people's consciousness around that sort of stuff? That's what I mean. You have to kind of figure out a way to really impress upon.
Yeah, but like you've got people. Lessons, you show people, how they, and best example. So you just bring some, successful people who've done whatever they've done, but also, like if you want to teach people about share bonds, it requires some effort. Some people would.
But I don't know. To me, like the idea of saving money, when we were young, we were just moving around all the time, I was I was an fucking alcoholic. I was an alcoholic.
Yeah, but like, listen, you don't need to save a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just the
habit. But any money that I had saved, if I had any kind of nest egg saved up, can you imagine it? I would have been drinking
it. Yeah, because you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
No shame.
Oh God.
Alcoholics have no shame, and they're liars.
Yeah.
You ask them yes, they would say yes, but they mean no.
I know.
And they just like be so convinced that they telling you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Daniel, what's happening in give us some of the news.
Right.
Oh, you didn't introduce the show. Come on.
Well, it's a bit late now.
Well, we might as well, because that's what we do.
No, it's like 24 minutes.
Oh, let's introduce the fucking show.
Okay.
That was like a long introduction.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage and Hannah Andrews.
Welcome to Prince Daniel. Where's Jake? How come Jake is not here?
He's still celebrating the birthday.
He's still celebrating.
Scheduling difficulties.
Is he working?
Yeah, he's working. Yeah.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. I mean, Jake, what are your priorities? This podcast or working in a pub?
Obviously, this podcast.
Sorry, what were you saying, Daniel? What are the topics, the hot button topics that are occupying people's minds?
Yeah,
today?
well, the terms woman and sex in Britain's Equality Act refer to a biological woman, biological sex, the UK Supreme Court has ruled. So,
whoa, we're getting into dangerous water here.
yes.
I might opt out of this one. Hannah, you can talk about it because what do you identify as?
I am a woman.
Go on, what were we going to say, Hannah?
Dad, it was presumed that, that a woman have no choice of a sperm. But apparently, that the sperm are fighting against each other.
Right.
And it's only a man thing. But apparently, that's a woman's choice. The woman is choosing a sperm. So let's say...
So the sperm is inside the uterus, and it's fighting among each other to try and get to the egg.
And the next day she can have sex with another man, and she might choose the other man's sperm, which is stronger and better than the one which is already there.
How did they know that?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean inside your fanny?
Yeah,
there's a little sort of Supreme Court going on. Get rid of that guy. I want to be. Yeah.
She's like, no.
But so this is what is exactly UK Supreme Court rules legal definition of a woman is based on sex at birth. So what are the legal ramifications for that? What does that mean?
I think transgender people might have problem with, let's say, officially changing sex.
Well, no, they're recognized. Yeah.
I don't know, because if you at birth...
it says here the dispute centers on whether someone with a gender recognition certificate recognizing their gender as female should be treated as a woman under the 2010 Equality Act.
So what would a gender recognition certificate, what would they miss out on, if they're not... Yeah. Well, I suppose they could have a subsection within the definition of a woman. What? Huh?
The only thing I would say, because it's always those points like, where is the toilet?
Or single-sex spaces.
Yeah. So, do we want to, transgender people in the, let's say, trans women people in the women's toilet, if they still have the original organs? Like, do women feel safe with them?
Well, you would have to answer that question.
And how do they pee? Do we want to be exposed to that? Do we want to see it?
Well, how do you feel?
I don't think so. I think for women or girls, like young girls, I think it's really better if women stick to women and men stick to men, and maybe have another toilet.
I just want to be able to work and live my life and love freely and support who I can. And I just wish everybody well.
Yeah, but this is like...
I want to keep any opinions to myself because I'm so unsure of everything.
Yeah, we can change opinions, and that's okay. Like if it's not, nothing is set in stone. I think, people who say, oh, I would never change an opinion, that's something not right with them, because, all the time you hear new evidence, new information, and you can evolve.
But and that's why we're not together, we wish everyone well, and we that's what we do, isn't it, Daniel?
Oh.
It's just, you get the populist.
Do you have a
populist speech?
Yeah.
Like you want to please everyone. I mean,
right? No, but it's funny when you want to please everyone. when you second guess what you think people want to hear, people fucking hate that. It drives people nuts. And people would rather you have a fucking opinion. But it's...
But maybe you should admit I don't really have a strong opinion.
Well, no, but it's
about
interesting.
this
Like,
subject.
well, it's interesting that you have to take women into consideration. But then that's the nub of the actual issue. What is a woman? And that's what we're struggling with.
Yeah, but like I know I'm a woman, but if I see, let's say I'm quite tall, I'm 5'7.5", and then there's a woman 6 foot something.
Yeah.
3 times my size.
Yeah.
Competing with me in a sport.
You're right.
So I feel disadvantaged. That's impossible.
Yeah.
That cannot be normal. That this is a woman.
What do you think, Daniel?
And then it's a problem. Not when we just going shopping and all that.
What do you think, Daniel?
Well, I think what the UK court ruled was fair. I think it makes sense. That
How dare you?
Well, I mean,
how dare you?
I think so anyway.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Like, let's say, okay, I'm a trans woman. Let's say I'm transitioning.
But
I
that's
really
okay.
so let's say I'm a trans woman, right? Let's get real. Let's get serious. Let's get honest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I really believe that that's who I am. Okay.
Good for you.
Okay. But then I don't have access to women's spaces. So therefore, my personhood, my autonomy, my sense, what I identify as, who I really truly am. So does that fuck my head right up?
Hmm.
Well, yeah, I guess it would. Yeah.
What? So is that what's happening?
Yeah, but then
Do you know what I mean?
What
So-
about women or little girls going to toilet and
But that's kind of
stumbling across someone
Yeah, but isn't that
who doesn't look like woman? They dress as a woman.
But isn't that saying? That's almost saying like that trans women are like a physical threat to women. I mean, surely they're not at all. That's
Well,
it's
you don't know.
Yeah, but women are a threat. People are a threat to people. Like, I mean.
Yeah, but like you can't presume that they are. But you want to prevent or you want to make a safe space. It's the same like most saunas are men and women separate, because it might be the place which could attract some perverts, and and you don't know if they will be there. But
Okay, so you're saying that
prevent,
some people aren't trans women, but they pretend to be to get access to those spaces.
It could be, yeah.
Is that what we're talking? Look, I think this is the center of a lot of the kind of this is intense kind of space to be talking about. And I don't feel qualified, and it's not a hill that I am willing to die on, or want to die on, or even want to walk up the hill. I mean, I'll look at it and talk about the hill, but also because it is that, it's hard not to talk about it and think about it. But ultimately, like if my son, let's say our son Daniel became Daniela, well,
I don't have any problem.
Right, so we'd want Daniela.
Yeah, but like I think
think
that
you would, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I would hope that Daniela wouldn't impose on everyone that Daniela thing, meaning that if somebody make a mistake and call him still Daniel, she's not gonna be offended and take it to court or make a big or start crying because somebody didn't follow her wishes.
Well, I love you, Daniela or Daniel, whatever. I love you. I love the woman inside you.
Thanks.
I'm trying to say this. I'm just out of my depth. Okay, can we move on?
Because you're a man.
Yes. Can we move on?
Yeah.
I feel like crying, or maybe that's what it's like.
Yeah, women cry much more than men.
That's why they live longer, because they're just way more grounded.
And also, I heard that let's say if there's a couple, they live together. So the widowers, if they survive, they do so much worse than widows.
Okay.
That women, because they have much bigger network of friends.
And they're much more active. Like you're
Yeah.
always, that's the great thing about going on holiday with you. You're looking up things, you're planning things, you got stuff going. Whereas me, I just want to sit and just sort of fumble around and like look at a stick or something, or, you know what I mean, or just wander here. But I always benefit from, tuning in to your brain. Just follow Hannah, and eventually, you do have a good time. Yeah. It's kind of the same logic as there's nothing a 15-minute walk can't sort out. Like, it's good. Get up, get moving, get the fucking blood circulating. Heard that all my life as a kid. Get up, get moving, and you'd just be like, fuck off,
Yeah.
Let me lie under this rock and do nothing.
Yeah, like I used to be told to take shoes at home.
You used to be told to take your shoes off.
Or to take my shoes off at home.
Right. So when you entered the house, you were asked to take your shoes off, because in Dublin and Ireland, you just walk with your big fucking boots. Come on in to the walk.
Bring some turf.
Yeah.
No, and my mum was so obsessed.
Yes.
That almost like when I was left alone.
Yeah.
Like she left, so I would put my shoes on and walk around the house in the shoes, just to be contrary.
Rebellious.
But now I understand where she's coming from.
Well, that reminds me, because in Tokyo, I lived there for about a year and a half. I did like the Japanese way of doing things. Very into that. You take your shoes off.
Mm-hmm,
you're in a home. There's a little space for all the shoes, and even the way you sit into these little tables, and they've got a big heater in the table for heating food, and the way they wash themselves. Like they will. They have a bath full of water. And then, but you wash yourself and soap yourself up before getting into the water. So, so you clean yourself before getting into you clean. Why do I have to say clean? Why can't I just say clean to emphasize? Listen, people will figure it out. They'll understand. It's so annoying. I'm so annoying to myself. Okay. So you're clean before you get into
Finally,
the
you feel how I feel.
So the bath water can just sit there. You don't have to get rid of it. So it's a better way of conserving water and all that kind of thing.
Well, I'm not sure if they don't change the water.
Well, they change the water every few bath cycles.
I don't know, but I know.
But you're going in there. You're going in there with a clean anus.
Yeah, and I remember in Japan, the water in the bath was so hot.
Oh, yeah.
Like you immersed yourself, you became red.
Yeah.
It was like on the edge of being burned.
Tokyo was so cool.
What are you doing, David?
Because my dentist told me that I have to floss between my teeth.
Yeah, and
by God, I'm going to fucking do it. These are so expensive. Because I have gaps between my teeth, because they're individual teeth put on my little shrubs.
But listen, do you really have to do it in public?
No, no.
So, could you refrain from doing it right now?
Oh, that's a bit, yeah.
And then you should smell it.
Okay. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to edit this out. So, okay, and also, what's the other bit of controversy about this actor, Mickey Rourke, Daniel? So, look, this guy was paid. Apparently, he said he was paid.
He was promised £500,000. He was
promised £500,000. So, I assume there was a contract and there was things written in stipulations. And apparently, one of the stipulations was if you get kicked out for saying something, over the line, in the space of 5 or 6 days, because there is a dispute, they're not willing to pay him. Is that right, Daniel?
Well, he was they believe his lawyer believes that he was deliberately removed just one day before he would become contractually eligible to receive a lot more money.
Oh, so you said okay, so that would make sense. They would so the people who organized Big Brother kicked him off the day before they were obliged to pay him the full whack.
Apparently, yeah.
Bastards. But I think they should pay him the full money, because, I mean, that's the only reason people are... well, here we are.
Yeah,
talking
and,
about the
and
fucking
also they exactly knew
Knew.
what they were doing.
Of course they would.
And
He's-
they
he's-
knew Mickey Rourke. They knew his behavior.
Yeah.
They studied him. They knew what he was going to do.
100%.
Bring controversy. Bring them ka-ching, and then they wanna save money.
And he's just like an old lad saying stupid shite. And like in the normal, I said no, but it is the kind of, there was one or two comments that you would, if that was in a pub or in a bar, and a guy said that about your girlfriend or something, you'd be going like, "What'd you just say?" You know what I mean? It could. So there was some pretty clunky.
He played wrestler.
Right.
So-
Well, you know, but I'm just saying. No,
I
I'm
know,
not saying
I
that he
know.
can't physically defend himself.
I
I'm just saying
know.
that some of the things. But you're right. I'm sure the organisers knew what he was like. But it did feel like he was purposefully saying stuff to hopefully get kicked out, and maybe didn't realise that if he did get kicked out, he wouldn't get paid the full amount of money. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he knew exactly what he was getting himself into when he went on the show. Like, I guess he thought it would be like an easy payday. Yeah.
But what a great actor, man! What a great actor! Probably one of the greatest actors. Probably he's a dork. Well,
Did
no,
he
remember.
get an Oscar for wrestler?
Well,
or
can I
not?
just tell you, when I was a kid, there was a film called Rumblefish that was amazing, and he was such a handsome young guy. He's unrecognizable compared
Yeah.
to what he used to look like. And he was also in a film called Angel Heart
Yeah.
with Robert De Niro. And these were such great films.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them. You know, this was before the internet. Mickey Rourke, man,
Yeah, and
he
used to
was
pout a little
fucking
bit.
cool. Especially
he
in
was sexy.
especially in Rumblefish, Angel Heart. Think of another
Angel Heart, he was an alcoholic, wasn't he?
No, Angel Heart was with
No,
Robert De Niro and Lisa Bonet,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
De Niro played the devil. Such a
Oh
good
right,
film.
yeah.
Think of another. Oh well, the wrestler. Yeah, a brilliant fucking actor.
And what
and I
about
think an actor.
Barfly?
Barfly,
That's when
fucking
he was an
brilliant.
alcoholic. Was it based on Bukowski?
Charles Bukowski, yeah, such a good film.
story.
And I mean, but the thing is, an actor of that caliber, you have to be very smart and very intelligent. I kind of think you know, and the fact that he's thrown out these clunky, unfunny, you know, things in the Big Brother house. I think he wanted to get kicked out, or he just felt that the people he was with were just inconsequential or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he was bored as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like not seeing any real reason.
Why are
He's
you
in a
smiling,
big
Daniel?
house.
Are you smiling because
Big Brother house.
I'm flossing?
Yeah.
Are you? Sorry.
So he a 70-year-old actor got kicked out because he questioned homophobic remarks towards fellow contestant Jojo Siwa.
Yeah.
Siwa?
Mhm.
He questioned her sexuality and made offensive comments, leading to accusation of homophobia. Directed aggressive behavior and threatening language towards housemate Chris Hughes during a task. Additionally, he made inappropriate sexual comments towards another contestant, Ella.
Yeah, well, what?
And
Daniel?
also,
He's really.
I think-
he's just a fucking disaster.
I think he made some woman cry as
Yeah,
well
he-
because he didn't like her cooking. Who was that?
Yeah, but look.
I mean, like,
look,
what?
no,
Why
he's-
would you cry?
Yeah, but it does sound like he was just being a cunt just to hopefully get kicked off, Daniel. Surely he can't be that much of an idiot.
But listen,
I mean, you're living with younger kids. You know, you're 70. You could have been really, you know, wise. Are you stupid?
listen, in a subsequent statement, Rourke expressed remorse, acknowledging his struggles with anger and stated he was ashamed of his actions.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I think every time he got caught up, he said, "Oh, you're right. I fucked up." And then you go out again. Hey, you big fucker. Mickey, come to the diary room. Your things are inappropriate and people are very sensitive. Yeah, I know. I fucked up. Okay, go back out. Hey, your food is shit, you fat bastard. Mickey Rourke, and you come to diary room. Fucking hell, every 10 seconds.
I love, like he made some woman cry because he
Yeah.
didn't like her cooking. I mean, like, hello.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Mickey Rourke.
Anyway, it's an ignominious end to a great actor. She's fucking. I must say there was one clip, and I clipped it, and where he was walking into the diary room, and they were doing a conga line, Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, Mary, Mother of Divine Joseph. I couldn't join that conga line for 500 grand. Like they're hey, come on. I'd be just like, I'm so triggered. Like, it makes me realize I'm very much on the spectrum. I cannot join that conga line. Fuck off, you pretend happy bastard. Come on, we're only having a laugh. Well, don't you want to fucking have a good time? Join the fucking conga line, you bastard. We're having a laugh. Get off that fucking phone.
Oh, yeah.
Can you come to the diary room?
I just wanted to see the
Hannah,
diary
can you
room.
come to the diary room? Yeah, forget about the diary room, Hannah.
Okay, I'm not looking.
Hannah, can you come to the diary room?
Yes. Hello, big brother.
Your comments were very inappropriate and insensitive to some of the very sensitive people. Some people will find what you said offensive. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now fuck off and do it
Yeah.
quickly. Out you go. Fuck off.
I was just,
What have you got? Anna, can you come back into the diary room, please?
Yeah.
I told you to fuck off quickly. What did you do? Do you understand how disastrous you are to people? Out you... Okay, whatever. Now fuck right off. Okay. How long have we been broadcasting, Daniel?
Too long.
50 minutes.
Is Big Brother run by Channel 4?
ITV.
All right. I love these fucking TV stations being moral, giving us moral guidance. Fuck off. And they're all, behind the scenes snorting lines of coke off each other.
But also they prey
Allegedly.
on people's weaknesses, and
Yeah.
they cherry pick people
Big wobbly bastards.
for their like faults, and they
Yeah.
confront people and create the conflict. Because that's what people want to watch.
Yeah,
Conflict.
100%.
Would you watch something which is just like they all lovey-dovey and go along? Obviously not.
It's 2:30 p.m. and David McSavage is having a sandwich near the diary room. All right, Dave. Yeah, how you doing, man? Yeah. I just said hello. Oh, mate, I just want to be on my own. It's not need to be like that. Just saying hello. Oh, fuck off, will you?
Yeah.
David McSavage, could you come to diary room? You told the housemate to fuck off. Some people could be offended by that. Yeah, because he's a fucking annoying cunt. You can't use that kind of language. It's 4:30 p.m. Daniel is swimming in the pool.
Without his jobs.
Without his jocks. Daniel, can you come to diary room? You were running around naked. Some people would be offended by that. Don't you understand?
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't you love to get whoever that voice is and just beat the shit out of them? Allegedly.
Oh, yeah. It's sort of like non-threatening, but authoritarian.
Yeah. Property prices as well have gone up by 8%. Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
This, apparently the same as last year.
Oh, the TikTok mountains of carbon, social media valleys of Wicklow, attention deficit disorder, rivers of Mayo, la, meh. Hello, Hannah, where are you going? Sing along with me. Wah, wah, wah. You never.
No, apparently I can find a song which I can sing, and I will do
Oh
it.
yeah, we did a song there. There was a few podcasts back where you were speaking a song, and it was quite cool.
Yeah. That's my childhood song in Polish.
Childhood song. My personal trainer has a very high speaking voice. Come on, David. Don't you take your vitamins?
I thought you don't respect high-pitched voices.
Oh, no, I really like Dana. No, I respect her. I do respect her. It's funny, though.
Yeah.
I love that, though.
But you always said a Russell Crowe voice.
I
which
know,
is
but
how
that's just
bigger-
stand-up, Hannah.
it's
But definitely
misogynist.
but definitely when I was a kid, you weren't, like, women didn't have the same. When I was a child, you know, when a woman gave out to you, you knew even if she hit you or something, it's never going to be as hard as a guy. So you'd be just more afraid of guys when I was a kid. Hey, you just. But if you heard, hey, la la la, you'd just be like.
I listen, we were talking about, but I just remember now, what was your idea about a woman when you were growing up, like you were 6 or 7? You said that your wife would be sitting at home and knitting trousers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was my mother worked for RTE, and then she had to sacrifice a career for her husband's. And she was interviewing me. God, I was about 7 or 8.
I think
and
she
was doing some
manipulated
She was
you a little
yeah. But she. And what do you want? Well, oh no, I was saying, girls should be at home doing the knitting trousers or something. Oh, whatever.
Well,
Like
you were
I'd love to go
6.
back to. I'm sure I didn't really believe that.
Well,
But no, I was brought up in a very kind of old-fashioned, traditional,
yeah.
you know, where girls, you know, there was no pressure on them to pursue a career. Or
But they were
whatever.
encouraged, like
They weren't encouraged, shall we say, or they didn't see. Yeah.
No, they were encouraged. I mean, you know, like,
Oh, I mean, my sisters.
yeah.
Yeah.
and they done really well. In
Oh
their
yeah, Claire
professional-
especially. My
career.
God, she's my youngest sister. Claire is a consultant, and she's an expert in sort of blood-related.
Phlebotomy.
But my God, that kid, I was going to call her kid, but she's put so much, the amount of work and study that she's needed to do to get to where she is. It seemed like it was never ending, but now she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's the bee's knees. She's the boss. This little kid has now grown into a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done, Hannah? Like if you
I'm
were
still alive.
if you were
That's
sitting
my
in a
achievement.
hospital and somebody came to you, you wouldn't have a fucking clue. Like I'd be going like, I've got a pain in my leg.
I actually can diagnose.
Oh, Hannah, can you come to the diary room? You cannot pretend you're a doctor.
Well, I think I have like a holistic approach, and most of diseases are coming from the same source.
Yeah, that's funny. It reminds me, holistic. You know, laughter is the best medicine. You know, so you know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
come to me and you start cracking jokes. I'm still sick. So laughter is not the best medicine, but no, it's definitely very good for you. Laughter,
Of course.
Oh my God, it's a sign of mental well-being and health. In the worst situations, it's the last thing. Once, if you can still laugh, if you can, you have to laugh. You have to. It's real. It's a sign of just transcendence or
I'm
humanity.
just having a laugh. Where's the
No,
line
but
from?
that's passive aggressive. I mean, you know, truly laughing.
Yeah. No, it is like, you know, like there were a lot of, you know, it just makes you feel better.
Remember that time when you had just given birth to Daniel in Elbląg Hospital? And
Yeah.
I was making fun of this woman who was walking by, and she was wearing stilettos.
And she was very fat.
She was a very big lady. But
At the time, we call her fat.
Oh yeah, but she was so the corridor was very empty and it was echoing. But she was wearing stilettos, but the contrast of the sound she was making versus how she looked, it was just. And then I was saying to Hannah, her sound should be like or something like that. And Hannah just started laughing her arse off. And you had just given birth to Daniel, but it was such a lovely little moment.
Very lovely.
And we were laughing. And Daniel. And your boobs were so big.
Okay,
they were
maybe
just,
we don't
No,
need to
because you were.
talk
Oh
about
yes.
the
By the
boobs.
way, here's another thing. So there's this comedian called Kyla Cobbler, right? And we were all doing these.
Comedian. A woman.
Comedian. What?
Is she a woman?
Yeah. Kevin McGahern, Carl Spain, Kyla Cobbler, me, and some other comedians were doing this thing in the Crackdown for a YouTube, little 20, 30-minute specials. But apparently, this comedian called Kyla Cobbler, okay, she was also there. She did very well. But during her set, there was a woman who was expressing her milk. Because so she's sitting in the audience, and then Kyla Cobbler notices her and says, "What are you doing?" And I'm expressing because she's obviously just giving birth. So she's got like a pint glass half full with her breast milk, right? And then there's a fucking group of guys on a stag, and whatever challenge somebody made up, the guys in the stag, or Kyla set it up, said, "Go on, drink it." And so one of the guys in the stag went and drank the breast milk.
That's just like, mother's milk. They're just like a golden
Yeah, but it's
syrup.
funny anyway. That's something.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've put that out on social media, but the way they were describing it was funny. As I'm saying it now, is it funny, Daniel? I mean, it's the kind of thing that would go viral. Man drinks tit milk in comedy show.
But also, I've never seen anyone expressing milk in public, so that's quite. You usually do it at home.
Well, I guess she probably
in a comedy show as well.
No, but she was probably sitting somewhere to the right, and she was sort of like, because
it's okay.
But they get very sore, don't they?
But like you express milk before you go out.
Yeah.
For your baby, and you freeze it. Why would you? Okay, I don't know, but it's okay. Like why not?
I remember, you'd have frozen frozen breast milk in the fridge.
In the freezer.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I don't think you ever tasted. I actually regret. I've never tasted it myself.
Yeah,
so
I used to put it in tea. Hannah tit tea. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for the wonderful humanity and wonderful music of life. Are we good?
Yeah.
Shall we cut it out?
What?
All this tit stuff.
Okay. Prince Daniel, someday this kingdom will be yours. And we will try and get a guest next week, but it's highly unlikely. Hannah, thank you so much for providing Daniel with colostrum and all that fantastic ingredients for the first 6 months of his life.
That it was the best I could have done.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just not judgmental. If you can't do it, that's okay as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because you're giving your kid all the antibodies that is in your body. It's incredible stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just like
what's
the best
so
thing.
So how long is there? So they call this stuff colostrum, and it's in the milk for the first few days, is it?
Yeah, I think, isn't it like in a breast milk, like for, I don't know, is it only a few
I don't know,
days?
but
I'm not sure,
so
but
it's kind of almost like it's like human medicine that's produced by the mother's body.
Vaccine almost.
Incredible.
Like boost your,
Are you anti-colostrum? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to read up about colostrum.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in, and check on davidmcsavage.com for my tour dates, although there's not many left.
And listen, sign up and donate.
These teeth are expensive.
And we want to auction that tooth.
Jesus. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.